Time is very interesting, and by contemplating on time, I think you can really facilitate your spiritual progress. For example, once you're meditating, it becomes quickly very obvious that time doesn't exist. And so by going in and out of meditation, you can see if you take a little bit of, or make a little bit of an effort, and you pay attention to what that does with your way of behaving, of viewing your experience, then you can get some insight into how time shapes who you think you are. Time is really something that the mind creates. It's one of the frameworks that the ego exists in. You yourself are an object that exists only because of the idea of time. And when you deconstruct the idea of time, then it's much easier to see through the ego. So I want to encourage you to play with that in meditation. One way to see time as an illusion or a mind-created part of how you experience reality is to pay attention to the shape of the experience from moment to moment in meditation. You can see that when you go into a meditation, it changes how you perceive things. And when the mind settles down and you become very quiet, then there is the possibility to see frames of experience, individual, seemingly unconnected parts of experience. And within each of these frames, if you become very still and very attentive, you see that there is no time and that there is actually no continuity, that there is just this one thing. And of course, part of those frames that are made up of different parts themselves, like all the 5 aggregates, there is something that creates the illusion of time, this sense of memory. Part of that frame is something that reminds you of what happened before. You can remember things, you can project into the future, you can watch time pass on the clock if you have this memory of what it showed just before. But all of that is not time as we think it is. It's the illusion. It creates time. So by seeing these individual frames, you can really cut through that illusion. And so the way to get there is really to relax very, very deeply, but also at the same time stay curious and awake. Very clear mind, very relaxed, and then you just let go of all the ideas, all the thoughts. You just let go of everything that distracts you. I really recommend you go with metta or loving kindness as the thing that you come back to over and over again. You drop everything else. Anything that comes in, you let go of, you relax deeply into that. And really, once you get into a flow, there is a certain point in meditation when it really clicks, where it's like, oh, now it feels like the mind is actually cleaner, it's clearer, it's calmer, something has shifted. And from there on, it's much more like a flow. You can get into the meditation deeper and deeper more easily. But you have to build up a certain momentum to get to that point, so there is a certain effort required. You have to stay very attentive, not any tightness, not with any tightness, but just to be on the lookout, to be really in the moment, paradoxically, to really watch for anything that can happen outside of the thing that you want to relax into, which is the loving kindness, the metta. So anything that distracts you from that, you let go of it. Your mind stays attentive to any of these mind stories. That's what you pay attention to. And then you relax, and the mind gets quieter and quieter. And actually, the metta also gets very, very refined, very quiet, a beautiful quietness. it gets so quiet. Like you train your mind to become more sensitive. That's really what it is. So sensitive that you can get very, very quiet, and then these different states of meditative states develop, and you go deeper into them until finally, like, you have the cessation where the individual frames break up into nothingness is revealed between those frames, and then you come back from that and get a lot of insights. So that's really what I recommend you do, and then when you come back out of that, watch how the mind reconstructs time, the sense of time. If it does, maybe it doesn't for you. So just watch out for that illusion, because really also outside of meditation you can actually learn about meditation, learn about the illusion of time by watching your thoughts. Thoughts create time. There's no time without thoughts. So you have to, not a specific verbal thought, you don't have to think actively like in sentences in order to create that sense of time, but you have to have images and knowledge kind of what came before that has to be created in your mind in order to live in that illusion. And once that stops, you are living outside of time, in the eternal now. So go with that. Let me know if it helps and what your thoughts are around that, and see you in the next video. Bye.